Naples, Italy, late 18th century. Before pizza became the world's favorite comfort food, it was something respectable people refused to touch. The air is thick with wood smoke, sea salt, and the smell of a crowded port. This is not the romanticized Italy of postcards. It is a desperate urban slum. Large numbers of destitute laborers known as lazzaroni live day to day on the streets. They have no kitchens, no tables, and no safety net. They are hungry, desperately hungry. Every coin matters. Every meal is uncertain. So when a street vendor slides a blistered flatbread from a wood-fired oven, nobody asks whether it's elegant. The only question is whether it will keep them alive until tomorrow. It is a despised throwaway creation. Leftover dough, stretched paper thin, and baked in blazing heat, smeared with lard, garlic, and coarse salt. Sometimes, if a worker has a single copper coin left, they add a handful of tiny whitebait fish harvested from the bay. Elite writers of the era looked down upon this street food with absolute contempt, refusing to even classify it as proper cuisine. It is cheap, greasy, and consumed standing in the crowded streets. And yet, it persists. Flatbreads baked with toppings had existed for millennia across ancient Greece, Persia, and Rome. One popular story claims that soldiers under Darius the Great baked flatbreads on their metal shields and covered them with cheese and dates, though historians debate whether this directly connects to modern pizza. But the creation taking shape in the slums of Naples is different. It is fast, commercial, and tied to the rhythm of the port. Then, a strange and terrifying variable enters the equation. Decades earlier, Spanish explorers had brought a vibrant red fruit back from the Americas. Europeans called it the pomodoro, or golden apple. But across the continent, a widespread consensus took hold. The fruit was deadly. Because tomatoes belonged to the nightshade family, many Europeans believed they were poisonous. Lead tableware may have contributed to the myth, as wealthy Europeans ate off ornate pewter plates containing high concentrations of lead. When the highly acidic tomato touched the metal, it leached the lead into the food, causing illness that people blamed on the fruit itself. So why, against all medical warnings of the era, did the starving paupers of Naples start picking these red orbs off the vine, crushing them, and spreading them across their cheap street dough? Many historians believe hunger outweighed the fear of poison. By combining cheap flatbread with local tomatoes, they unknowingly created a combination that modern food science suggests is especially satisfying: a balance of carbohydrates, fats, and umami-rich flavors. Ironically, the ingredient Europe most feared would become the ingredient pizza could never live without. For generations, this crude street food remains entirely invisible to polite society. Wealthy travelers write memoirs detailing Italian opera, architecture, and wine, while completely ignoring the millions of people eating red-sauced flatbreads right outside their carriage windows. To polite society, pizza barely exists, until a royal visit alters its trajectory forever. The year is 1889. Italy is newly unified, fragile, and politically tense. King Umberto and Queen Margherita arrive in Naples for a royal tour. Legend has it that the Queen grows weary of heavy French-dominated court cuisine and demands to sample the notorious local street food. A local pizzaiolo named Raffaele Esposito is summoned to bake for the royal household. Generations of textbooks claim Esposito baked 3 pizzas, topping the final one with red tomatoes, white mozzarella, and green basil to mirror the Italian flag. However, archival research revealed that the famous thank you letter from the royal household bears distinct signs of being a 19th century forgery, likely cooked up decades later by restaurant owners looking to boost their historical prestige. Yet whether the royal seal was genuine or a clever marketing hoax, the cultural effect is undeniable. The name Pizza Margherita sticks. The association with royalty transforms pizza into a point of national pride. Even with this newfound status, pizza remains fiercely localized. It cannot cross oceans yet. That changes in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when large waves of southern Italian immigrants bring their culinary traditions across the Atlantic. They settle into industrial urban hubs, including the suffocating tenements of New York and Chicago. In small bakeries across New York's Little Italy and the Lower East Side, immigrant bakers fire up coal-fueled ovens originally built for bread, wrapping slices in greasy brown paper for factory workers. For decades, it remains an ethnic enclave secret, until World War II changes the demographic landscape entirely. Thousands of Allied soldiers are stationed in southern Italy. Amid the chaos of the campaign, American and British troops taste pizza for the first time in local trattorias. They write home about this savory, melted cheese pie. When the war ends, veterans return home with an active craving for what they discovered overseas. Suddenly, small pizzerias begin popping up outside of Italian-American enclaves. But a severe logistical bottleneck threatens to cap its growth. Pizza is a perishable, fragile item. It must be eaten immediately out of the oven, or the crust turns to rubber and the cheese solidifies. An entrepreneurial wave breaks through this limitation. In Chicago, a new style of deep dish pizza begins to emerge, transforming a thin street snack into a heavy, casserole-like meal, designed to sit longer and feed families. Concurrently, corporate visionaries in the mid-20th century realized that suburban expansion requires a new model. They streamline the kitchen, standardize the ingredients, and introduce a radical, high-stress business proposition. Some pizza chains later built their reputation around the bold promise of delivery within 30 minutes. To achieve this, logistics networks are overhauled, specialized insulated boxes are engineered, and delivery fleets raced against the clock to meet ambitious delivery promises. Today, what began as survival food for Naples' poorest residents has become one of the world's most recognizable meals, enjoyed billions of times every year across nearly every continent. Think about that quiet moment. The cardboard box opens. Steam rises, carrying the rich, familiar aroma of warm dough, acid-bright tomatoes, and melted cheese. It feels ordinary, almost forgettable. Yet that simple circle resting on your kitchen table is an impossible archive of human survival. Every time you take a bite, you are tasting centuries of quiet defiance, the desperate gamble of impoverished Neapolitans, the resilience of immigrants crossing oceans, and a street food that outlived every empire that tried to dismiss it. History isn't just locked behind museum glass. Sometimes it is sitting right on your kitchen counter. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden history behind the everyday foods we take for granted, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for next one.